continue on and see what we find. So far, this trail has been outstanding. I was getting ready to make this video, looked at my phone to see what time it was, and noticed that I had a message from Pedro congratulating me on passing 100 subscriptions, or 100 subscribers. I just wanted to thank everybody that has subscribed. I hope you enjoy the videos that I make. Yeah, there's a lot of channels out there about the electric bike in particular, about working on them, you know, all the ins and outs, fixing them. You know, with the nature that we have here in West Virginia, I'm just kind of on here to enjoy the outdoors and the trails that we have. Post them and let people see, you know, what we have here in this state. This state has, you know, a lot of stories. People talk about the people that live in West Virginia. There's a lot of stereotypes, and I can tell you, I've lived in just about every part of this state. Sometimes they're true. I mean, most times stereotypes start from the action of somebody, but that doesn't represent the people as a whole. And I can tell you, I grew up in Beckley, West Virginia, the southern part. I had a really strong southern accent. I've lived in Logan, West Virginia, all the way over on the Kentucky, almost the Kentucky border. I've lived in Huntington, right on the Kentucky border. I've lived in Clarksburg. I've lived in Morgantown. I've lived in Fairmont now. I've lived over in the Eastern Panhandle. There's a deer. See that? I've lived in the Eastern Panhandle. And man, those deer get up in the woods and they just disappear. But yeah, I've lived from the farthest south you can go in this state to about the farthest north and the farthest east. And the places that I haven't lived in, I've spent a lot of time in. Northern Panhandle, central West Virginia, the eastern mountains, where our highest peak, Spruce Knob, is. Lived all over this state. Since I've been in the northern part of the state, I've kind of lost my southern accent for the most part. I'm sure some of you can pick it up a little bit here and there. But it's funny when you live in certain areas, you lose accents, pick up accents. But I do these videos to show you how nice people are. I see videos where folks are yelling at you because you're on an electric bike. As you can see, when I pass other bikers, they throw a hand up, say hi. The only times anybody's ever even mentioned this electric bike is because they were curious. They just wanted to ask some questions about it. maybe they were thinking about getting one. I've never heard any negatives at all. People here are just so friendly. As long as you're friendly, everybody here accepts you. West Virginia, especially the northern part, eastern panhandle, northern panhandle, is a sort of a melting pot, kind of like New York is, with all different nationalities. People can come from anywhere all over the country, and West Virginians will accept you no matter what. As long as you're a good person and you're nice and you can talk to them. And here we have another another dam. But yeah, West Virginia is just an awesome place to live. It's one of the best kept secrets, I think, in the country. It's a stop-off point for all the northerners going south and all the southerners going north. But it's a good place to stop and put down roots. Oh wow, what a view. And all these dams are just flood control dams. They don't produce any electric, as far as I know, or anything like that. Opakiski might. It's the one that we passed a few videos back that had all the fencing around it. Most of these don't have any fences. It's a good thing I've got my hiking boots on today. That's a pretty steep hill. But yeah, most of these are just flood control more than anything. Another thing I noticed about West Virginia, when I was a kid, you know, growing up back in the 70s, I used to travel. I lived in Beckley. My grandparents were from close to Fairmont, up here in the north part of the state. We used to have to travel 5 or 6 hours. We have a bridge in Fayetteville, West Virginia, called the Mon River Gorge Bridge, and they do skydiving, you know, base jumping. They have Bridge Day usually in September, October, whenever the trees start to turn colors. And just thousands of people come from all over the world to jump off the bridge and parachute down to the bottom. But when I was a kid growing up in the 70s, that bridge was not there. We had to drive all the way down one side, across a little tiny bridge over the river, drive all the way back up the other side. It took, I don't know, it took probably an hour, hour and a half just to make that journey. And now it's a bridge that goes over that gorge. It takes you about 1 minute to get across. It's about a mile long. If you go 60 miles an hour, it takes you almost a minute to get across. But anyway, when we used to drive up all those hours up here to visit my grandparents, you'd see trash everywhere. Ew. Hi. Hello. But you'd see trash everywhere, just piles and piles over in the ditches, along the interstate, on the back roads, didn't matter. People just tossed their stuff out. And over the last 20 or 30 years, I don't know, since maybe the late 80s, early 90s, they've started using inmates to clean up the interstates. And we have people that come out and clean up the local roads, clubs, and things like that. And then we have folks that clean up the trail. Okay, Sheepskin, we are now in Pennsylvania. Sheepskin Trail, Fayette County, Pennsylvania. I grew up in Fayette County, West Virginia. And I'm trying to get a picture. Sheepskin. But yeah, we're in Pennsylvania. I guess they don't put up state line. I guess they don't put up state line signs on bike paths. So we are now in Pennsylvania on Sheepskin Trail. And this goes up into Point Marion, Pennsylvania. So I've gone from West Virginia and I'm in Pennsylvania now. And we've gone about 7.6 miles, and I still have 50.6 volts on my battery. So it goes to show you, it depends on how you're riding, your terrain, as to how long your battery lasts. And I'm a 300 pounder in 290s, somewhere in there. I go up and down 5 pounds every day, it seems like. And I'm still getting this good battery life. Hey, how are you? Man, that rabbit just about took its life into its own hands. I almost had another kamikaze rabbit like one of my earlier videos. All right, I think we are in Point Marion with a capital T. I think I'm going to pull out my phone and take a quick, but I'm almost positive. Let me take a quick look here. See where we are. Bam. Yep, we are in Point Marion. The sun's pretty bright, but we're in Point Marion, Pennsylvania. There's supposed to be a covered bridge up here someplace, but I have no idea where it would be. I'm just going to take a quick peek down through here, because I thought it was somewhere on this trail. Okay, so that must be the entrance to Interstate 79. I pass this place going to Pittsburgh all the time, but I think I've maybe drove through here once. They have a really big dirt bike track here in Point Marion. When I first moved here, we came to watch the dirt bikes. Motocross, I guess they call it. But anyway, let's go on back out the trail just a little bit. That covered bridge actually might be up in the next town. I don't remember. I was looking at the trails up through here. This trail goes all the way up to Connellsville, PA. It could have been in Connellsville. I'm just not going to go up quite that far today. But that might be another good video. Maybe I'll just drive my truck up here to Point Marion, hop back on this, and go to Connellsville. Let's see. Now, I have no idea if this trail goes on any farther or not, or where exactly you pick it back up at. Let's just ride around and look. Point Marion is a very, very, very tiny town. And come back another day. Fayette County, Pennsylvania, Point Marion. Lady that I work with, if she ever finds my videos, lives around here. Her name is Madonna Basile. Very nice lady. She grew up in West Virginia, but she lives here in Point Marion now. Like I said, it's only about a 5-mile trip or so from here to Morgantown. It's actually closer to Morgantown than Fairmont, where I live. Where I live, it's about 15 miles or so, 10 or 15 miles. So anyway, we'll head on back. I don't know if I'll bore you with the rest going all the way back or not, but if I don't, when I get to the truck, I will see what my mileage on the bike is compared to my app, GPS on my app. See where our battery level is and all that good stuff. So, yeah, no cars in this town. So anyway, yeah. If you guys don't want to watch all the way back, I may not even add this to the video. Here's a funny thing. Found out that my channel just passed 200 subscribers. My bike just passed 200 miles. Talk about a coincidence. Thanks again to everybody that watches my videos. I hope you enjoy them. I spend a lot of hours trying to make them as good as I can with the equipment that I have. But I really appreciate it. Kind of gives me a push to get out here on the trails. Excuse me. There goes that deer again. Must not have gone too far. Up two of them. away they go. Nature's wonders. Yeah, we're coming back into civilization, back to Morgantown. Back on asphalt, pavement. There you go. Folks out by the pool over there. Not too many people out here at the park. I guess it's because it's so daggone hot. See, while I'm riding, the breeze is nice and cool, but man, whenever you stop, it feels like somebody's holding a hair dryer on you. Alright. Okay, we're back to the old red truck. That'll be the end of our trip. Let's see here. Okay, let's take a look at our numbers. Our bike says 16.6 miles. Our app says 17.2 miles. So we've lost about 6/10 of a mile over a 17-mile trip. So I don't know, my last ride was almost 8 miles. It was dead on. We double that and we lose about 6/10 of a mile. So anyway, we don't really care all that much. Just to give you an idea, on our longer trips it seems like it loses just a little bit, but you know, no huge deal for me anyway. Let's see, we ended up, we still have 48.8 volts. An hour and 40 minutes. I only stopped once briefly. So for well, it was, GPS said 17.2 miles. I'm still at nearly 49 volts. You know, we've only burnt up about 5 volts. So we're about at half of the battery, a little more than half. You can see where the energy bar, I'm only down 1 notch. So you can kind of tell that's really kind of worthless. Big thing is just to watch the volts on this thing. So anyway, it was another good ride today. I appreciate you guys for coming along with me. And until next time, God bless. Have a good day. And I'll see you on the next video.